As we look at our map today, we can see the Jordan River Valley. Moving straight south from Kafranya, where I propose that Mary and Joseph stayed their third night, I want to suggest that they traveled another 6 hours or so, walking the 17 miles to arrive to Damia. This is marked on our map as the Adam Checkpoint Bridge. It is obviously on the water, so they wouldn't only find shelter there, but also the water the Jordan River gives to them. This river runs through the lowest valley on the planet, an interesting choice that the Lord made. They would pass 3 important locations on the way that I'll talk about now: Sukkoth, Peniel, and Manhanaim. The town of Sukkoth is actually named for the word tents, just like the Jewish feast of Sukkot, or booths. This location takes its name because Jacob himself set up his tents here for his family and his livestock, as is mentioned in Genesis 33. The towns of Peniel and Manhanaim were the locations of fortresses on either side of the Jabbok River. They were guarding an important road into the Jordan River Valley. This is important because it's the location where Jacob wrestled the angel. Remember that Jacob later became Israel, which means the one who wrestles with God. And he named the place the face of God, which is what Peniel means, because he saw God and lived. That's all explained in Genesis 32. Manhanaim, which means 2 camps, is where Jacob and his family lived in 2 groups. And he did this for fear of his brother Esau. Remember that Jacob stole his birthright from his older brother Esau. And so he had reason to be afraid of Esau, who was coming to meet him, because Jacob was coming back to his native land. And so he sought to protect his own family from his potentially vengeful brother. We are in such a special place right now. You can see water behind me. Those are the waters of the Jordan River. And we are here in this spot where from antiquity Christians have come to remember where Jesus himself was baptized. They also say that in this place was where the Israelites first came into the promised land, crossing the Jordan, led by Joshua. And this is also where Elijah crossed the Jordan and then was taken up into heaven in a fiery chariot. The Jordan River waters the fertile soil of this part of the Great Rift Valley. That valley actually goes all the way into East Africa. The Jordan Valley, called Gor in Arabic, follows the Jordan River that flows out from the southern part of the Sea of Galilee. Remember, the Sea of Galilee is the lowest freshwater lake on earth, and so the river follows it to the lowest point on earth, which is the Dead Sea. And it becomes more and more desert-like around the Jordan River as one moves south toward Jericho, and we'll see that over this week. This valley is several degrees warmer than the rest of the areas around it, and so there's a lot of crops year-round. And so it makes it very beautiful, and you'll notice that there's especially a lot of date palms that grow around here. In the past, the Jordan River was fed by rain and melted snow from the very tall Mount Hermon, the tallest mount in this area. And it would have been at least half a mile wide in the spring. Even if today, as you can see, it's mostly a narrow, muddy-looking stream. There was a dam that was put in south of the Sea of Galilee, which diverts water from the river. They use it mostly for agriculture, and so that decreases the flow. Some people say up to 98%. Modern-day Damia is associated with the biblical city called Adam. Therefore, the bridge, like we said, is also called Adam's Bridge. If you look at the book of Joshua, it was here that the River Jordan stopped flowing so that the people could pass into the Promised Land. In other words, it backed up from the place where they came in all the way up to this place. This is what it says. The water from upstream stopped flowing. It piled up as in a heap a great distance away at a town called Adam in the vicinity of Zarethan. This is straight from the Old Testament. And it's interesting because in our liturgy for this week, this is the area where Luke describes John the Baptist was baptizing, very close to where Jesus himself would be baptized by him. So in this, our second week of Advent, our focus is on waiting. To plant a life-giving seed, one has to dig into the earth. It is by no accident, I think, that Mary and Joseph were walking through the valley with the lowest elevation in the world. Just to give you an idea, it goes from about 700 feet below sea level to 1,300 feet below sea level. That's a low path. It's a humble route, reminding us of the great humility of the Lord who became flesh to dwell among us. And we will be reminded of that again as we bow our heads down to enter into the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem. Thank you for joining me here today at the Jordan River. It's such a grace always to come here. So as I go down to the waters of the Jordan, I will be praying for each and every one of you and your intentions. Again, thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless you.